This is the Horse Radio Network.
This is episode 600 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Today's tip is brought to you by feedxl.com. Greetings, horse people. Coach Jen here, and thanks for tuning in to Horse Tip Daily. Today's tip is from Dr. Wendy Ying. Dr. Ying is co-host of the Driving Radio Show here on the Horse Radio Network and a doctor of veterinary medicine who practices traditional Chinese medicine in her practice, 5 Elements for Animals. She is also an active competitor in the sport of combined driving and also enjoys fox hunting. Today's tip is nothing to sneeze at. Allergies. But first, a word from today's sponsor, FeedXL. Is your horse's diet balanced? Find out with FeedXL. FeedXL does all the smart stuff that it takes to formulate and balance a horse's diet. It takes all of the science and math that a doctor of equine nutrition learns and makes it all super easy and fun to use. Just plug in a few simple details to see if your horse is having his nutritional needs met. FeedXL is like having your own personal equine nutritionist stuffed right in your back pocket. And FeedXL is so good that it's used by leading equine nutritionists to formulate balanced diets for their clients. Using the details about your horse and what you feed him, FeedXL will do some serious math to calculate if your horse's nutritional requirements are being met. See the results of this math displayed in numerous ways, including the easy-to-read graph that highlights excesses and deficiencies in his diet. Learn more about equine nutrition and how to feed your horse for ultimate performance by visiting the FeedXL Learning Center and the FeedXL member forums. The newly designed FeedXL website is super easy to navigate and bursting with information. Go to feedxl.com today because nutrition makes a difference. Now, enjoy today's tip.
And now it's time for Dr. Wendy Ying's Chinese medicine update, all about allergies.
Yes, all about allergies.
Wait a minute.
So, as I said before...
I have a runny nose today, just saying.
Are you serious, or is this part of our show?
This is part of the show.
Oh.
I'm acting. I'm trying to.
Oh, you're acting.
Yes.
You know what? You were doing a great job because I couldn't tell if it was really happening. Okay, so talking about allergies. So in Chinese medicine, we describe allergies as lung heat, right? Because what happens with allergies is this something comes in, like the evil comes in, and then your immune system has to do something with it. And what happens is heat is developed. Like when I talked about the forsythia before, damp heat. Allergies are more of a dry heat, but when your body uses the white blood cells to produce antibodies and your immune response, that causes heat inside your body. And that's how your body deals with it. So a lot of times it's hard to tell, even for veterinarians, when you get a call to come out, they'll say, well, my horse, we call it ADR, ain't doing right. So you go out there. Well, it's true. So you go out there and, I mean, unless there's like snot coming straight out of his nose, they might just be like dull or running a fever or, labored breathing. So you kind of have to go through a little bit of a question and answer to figure out, okay, does this horse have heaves? Is it not sweating? Is it sick? Does it have the flu? Blah, blah, blah. So allergies can present, usually it's like rapid onset, and it can present like the flu. A lot of times the allergies, they won't be as dull as if they have the flu, and they won't run as high of a temperature. But you might see they'll be like, standing around and like panting. Their sides are going back and forth, or they're flaring their nose, or they have like a dry cough during exercise. Or a lot of times you won't even know your horse has an allergy until you, do some heavy exertion, and then they'll get back to the barn and then just start coughing, and they'll cough up some like foamy snot. So the way we treat that in Chinese medicine is to deal with the heat and to tonify the lung meridian. So with acupuncture, you do lung meridian points, and then you also do points that clear heat. So have I talked about that before, the clear heat points?
No, I don't remember that.
Well, that's really common. Like whenever you have any issue, like it could be any organ, so lung heat or liver heat or whatever, there are certain points, or even if you just have a fever or like non-sweating, there are certain points that we use as a general clearing of the heat, which is like there's one in the neck. One of my favorite clearing heat points is the tip of the ear. Because for one, it's very dramatic. And for two, you can leave it in there. So sometimes if I have non-sweaters, I'll stick this little needle in the tip of the ear. And, in the summertime, you could ride them like that, and it would help them with the heat.
Got it.
And the tip of the tail, that's always a good point. That's a fun one. Then for herbal formula, what we use for allergy, like general allergy, would be a formula called Schisandra 5. And so Schisandra is also known as Wu Wei Zi, which is one of my favorites, is 5-flavored berry. That's what that means, Wu Wei Zi. And they call it 5-flavored berry because every, like all the flavors that you taste, that tells you what the medicine does. So, like, for example, sweet is like a qi tonifier. So this berry has all 5 flavors. So it's used in a lot of formulas. But it's the main ingredient in this allergy formula because it clears heat, and it also, we call it astringes the lung qi. So it makes the lung qi strong. And so by doing that, making the lung qi strong and clearing heat, it helps the immune system, and it also dissipates the heat. And it also helps you, it also dampens the dryness. So, when you have allergies, your throat is really dry. This helps you not have such a dry, itchy throat.
And does it really work? You know how when you have a cold, nothing seems to ever work. Does it work?
Yes, it works, Glenn.
Just a second.
But it won't work if you have a cold. It'll work partially.
Okay.
Because this medicine is for allergy.
Okay, but it does work. Like I have allergies too, and I do take for my allergies, I take the 24-hour allergy medicine you buy at the drugstore.
Right.
And it does help with the symptoms. So, obviously allergies are still there, but, it's just helping with the symptoms. Same way with the horses, I assume.
Right. And with the allergy medicine for humans, well, first of all, we don't use Claritin in horses, right? The 24 hours. Then a lot of other allergy medicines, like Benadryl, that kind of thing, we can use that, but, it makes you drowsy. So we don't want that. And also if you're competing, that will test in the drug test. Also, a lot of allergy medicines use steroids, and steroids are really dangerous in horses because it can cause laminitis. So, of course, there is a time when you'd have to try steroids. I try to avoid that for lung issues because I would rather use the herbal formulas. Also, with a lung issue, unless you really go all out and do cultures and do chest radiographs, whatever. Sometimes you're guessing whether you have a fungus or you have a bacterial infection or virus. So if you give steroids, you will make the symptoms better. But what that does is it reduces the immune response. So with allergies, that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to reduce the immune response because your immune response is getting too strong to pollen or whatever. But if you have pneumonia and then you give steroids and then you decrease the immune system, then the bacteria will grow more because your body can't fight it as well. With Chinese medicine, we're going to tonify the immune system to relieve the symptoms.
And what would people look for if they're going out to look for the herbs? What would they look for, and where would they go?
Well, this herbal formula you should get from your veterinarian.
Okay.
So you can get that from your veterinarian, but also there are some that do contain this Wu Wei Z. I think Omega Alpha has a formula for that also has like mint in it that dilates the bronchioles.
That's an advertiser of ours for the morning show, for the horse morning show.
Mm-hmm. So they have
.ca.
Yeah, they have some good formulas that are also liquid that work very well. But it would probably be best if your horse is breathing heavy and you are concerned, you should probably call your veterinarian because, like I said, it can be the beginning of heaves. It could be, a fungus infection. It could be something else. So this is something you really need to call your veterinarian to come diagnose.
Well, there you go. First of all, find out whether or not it's an allergy or not, and go from there. To listen to all of Wendy's tips, just go to horsetipdaily.com, go to the experts drop-down menu on the left. You can also go to her website, 5elements4animals.com. Use the digits, don't spell it out, 5elements4animals.com, and you can see what Wendy's up to. If you just can't get enough of Wendy and Glenn, you can listen to them every week on the Driving Radio Show, drivingradioshow.com. And don't forget to support our sponsors here on Horse Tip Daily because they really do make these podcasts possible. Today's sponsor has been feedxl.com. Sign up today for accurate, unbiased online nutrition information. Please stop by the Horse Tip Daily Facebook page and let us know what you think of the tips you hear on the show. It's also a great place to tell us about topics you'd like us to cover on the show. You can subscribe to all of the great shows on the Horse Radio Network through iTunes or Zune and get your horse podcasts automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, go ride your horse! The Horse Radio Network and the Horse Radio Network hosts are not responsible for statements of guests or their opinions. Use your own judgment when listening to the tips provided by the experts on Horse Tip Daily.